Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be looking at reviewed mathematics questions for the Uniben 2025 Post-UTME examinations. Okay guys, number one as shown on the screen. It says find x if 16 to the power of 2 plus x divided by 4 equals 64 to the power of x. Now this question comes from indices. We're going to make sure all the bases are the same. Now let's go. 16 also means 4 squared. So we have 4 squared into 2 plus x divided by 4 equals 64 also means 4 to the power of 3. And then we have an extra x over there. Now open the bracket. We have 4. 2 times 2 becomes 4. 2 times x becomes 2x divided by 4 to the power of 1 equals 4 to the power of 3x. Remember, the law of indices said when you have the same base dividing each other, pick one of the base and subtract the powers. We then have from this part here 4 to the power of 4 plus 2x take away 1 equals 4 to the power of 3x. Now observe, we can simplify this equation over here. 4 minus 1 becomes 3. So we then have 4 to the power of 3 plus 2x equals 4 to the power of 3x. Now, if you observe, the base on the left hand side is the same as the base on the right hand side. So you can cancel out the bases and equate the powers. So we then have 3 plus 2x equals 3x. We are asked to find x, so therefore we collect like terms with respect to x. So if this 2x crossover becomes negative 2x, so we have 3 equals 3x, take away 2x, and there we can see x equals 3 as our final answer. Okay, number 2 says a binary operation is defined on the set of real numbers by x operation y equals x to the power of y. For all values of x and y, if x operation 2 equals x, find the possible values of x. Look at the board. Now this question obviously is from binary operations. How do we solve? We solve by comparison and substituting. Observe, they gave us the equation as x operation y equals x to the power of y. And now we're giving x operation 2. X is same as x, therefore y should be 2. Anywhere you see x, leave it as x. Anywhere you see y, leave it as 2. So we then have x operation 2 equals x squared. But now it is also equal to x from the pattern given to us. So we have x squared equals to x. How do we solve this expression? We can take x to the left hand side. We then have x squared minus x equals 0. Observe, we can factorize. Bring out x from this expression. You're going to be left with x take away 1 equals 0. Now, when two operations are multiplying and they're equal to 0, that means either of those equations must be 0. Therefore, x is equal to 0 or x is equal to positive 1, and that becomes the answer. Okay, number 3. In how many ways can a committee of 5 be selected from a group of 7 males and 3 females if the committee must have 1 female? Now, this question is from combination. Remember, you know it's combination once you hear or see the word selection or choosing. In other words, once you're asked to select or choose, you combinate. But if you're asked to arrange, you permutate. Look at the board. Now we have to form 5 members of the committee, but from 7 males and 3 females. From 7 males and 3 females. Now they give us a condition. They must have at least, the committee must have 1 female, not at least 1, meaning in all your selection there must be only 1 female in the selection. Therefore, if from the 3 females I am allowed to choose only 1 from the 3 females, meaning from the 5 I need, I have 4 remaining. I have picked one woman from the 3 women, and I need 5 persons, so remaining 4. Therefore, this 4 will come from the what? The males. So therefore, I'm going to say multiply by, from the 7 males, I'm going to pick just 4. Now, this is the only way or manner I can have my selection, because I was told that it must have just one female. Now let's simplify this. 3 combination 1 remains as 3 multiplied by 7 combination 4 becomes 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, all divided by 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. You'll be surprised how I got that. Watch. For combination, we all know the formula for combination. NCR equals n factorial over n minus r factorial. But because it is a post-UTME exam, we don't want to waste time by applying the formula. The number on the top, 7, and the one on the bottom simply says multiply 7 backward 4 times, but divide that answer by 4 factorial. Multiply 7 backward 4 times, but divide that guy by 4 factorial. So let's simplify this expression on the board. So 3 over 1 remains as 3, and then let's see what we can cancel out here. 4 can take out 4, 3 times 2 can take out 6. So we are left with 3 times 7 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 times 3 should give us 105. So there are 105 ways to select 5 people from 7 males and 3 females if 1 female must be present. Okay guys, number 4. Differentiate y equals open bracket 5x plus 1 close the bracket to the power of 4. Now this question comes from calculus. Remember, in calculus, when you have y equals ax to the power of n, dy dx becomes power times function and power minus 1. Say with me, power times function, power minus 1. Now, from the pattern on the board, we're going to apply a very quick method, although this question should be solved using the chain rule method or the composite, also called function of a function. But don't worry, look at the board. When you have a question like this, simply close the bracket, write the number you see 4. I'm going to say dy dx should be, I'm going to write 4 times. Now, when you differentiate what's in the bracket, what are you going to get? 5x will give us 5 and 1 will give us 0. So we have just 5. I'm going to write that down, 5. Now, write down the bracket back. And finally, subtract 1 from the power. I'm going to say it again. Close the bracket, write down the power, differentiate what you have in the bracket, write back the initial bracket, and subtract 1 from the power. So this then becomes 4 times 5, 20 into 5x plus 1 to the power of 3. This becomes the answer. Okay, number 5. Find the angle subtended by an arc of 33 cm long of a circle of diameter 28 centimeters. Now, this question is from circles. Now, watch. The length of arc for a circle, the minor arc, is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Theta over 360 times 2 pi r. It can also be written as theta pi r over 180, because 2 can cancel 360 to give you 180. Now, in the question, the length of arc was given as 33. So we're going to write 33 equals, we are looking for the angle theta. Now, pi is 22 divided by 7, and then we were not given the radius, we were given the diameter. But I'm sure you know that the radius is half of a diameter. So if diameter is 28, radius becomes 14. So we have times 14. Now we're going to cancel out what we can cancel out. Now watch. 7 can take out 14. I'm left with 2. 22, 11 can go into 22. I'm left with 2. 11 go into 33. I'm left with 3. Now let's go. 2 can take out 360 and leave us 180. 2 can take out 180 and leave us 90. 2 again can take out 90 and leave us 45. Therefore, we can cross multiply. So theta becomes 45 times 3. That should give you 135 degrees. I'll go over it again. Remember, theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Now, pi is 22 over 7, r is 14. Now, the length was 33. So we'll just start our cancellation so we can make theta stand alone, and this becomes the answer. Okay, number 6. If P operation Q equals 2P plus PQ plus Q, find P when P operation 2 minus P operation 1 equals 40. Now, this question again is from binary operations. Remember, we solve by comparison and substituting. Now, let's watch. We're going to compare each bracket with the given expression. Now, P remains as P, but the value for Q changes in both brackets. So we're going to solve them bracket by bracket. For the first bracket, we have P remains as P. Anywhere you see P from this expression, leave it as P. But anywhere you see Q, put 2 in place of Q. So we're going to have 2P plus, since Q is 2, and we also have a P here, we'll have another 2P again plus 2 for the first bracket minus P remains as P, but Q becomes 1. So we have 2P plus 1 times P becomes P plus 1, all equals 40. Now we can simplify the brackets and then find the value for P. 2P plus 2P becomes 4P plus 2 minus, open the brackets, all changes their sign. So we have 2P plus P here becomes 3P. This is 3P. We have a negative here, so we have minus 3P plus 1 equals, minus 1 equals 40. It is minus because minus times plus gives you minus. Now let's go. 4P minus 3P gives us just P. 2 minus 1 gives us just 1 equals 40. Now P becomes 40 minus 1. And what's the answer? 39. Okay, number 7. Which of the following is a measure of central tendency? Now, this comes from statistics. Option A, standard deviation. Option B, range. Option C, variance. And option D, mean. Which of these is a measure of central tendency? Now, the correct option to that question is option D, mean. Option A, B, and C are measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion, deviation, whether standard or variance or range, are all what? Dispersion. However, mean, median, mode are central tendency. So the answer to that question is option D, mean. Okay, number 8. Identify the equation of the shaded region in the given graph. This from Inequalities on the graph method. Now, from the graph, the lines are dotted and we are shading above 1 on the x-axis. Whenever you have dotted lines, we use either less than or greater than without the equal to. If it's a thick line running through, then we attach the equal to it. But now we have dotted, so we have just less than or greater than. Now, since the shaded part is above the 1 on the x-axis, it means this graph are telling us values that are above 1 on the x-axis. So the answer to this question should be x greater than 1. X greater than 1. X greater than 1. That should be the answer to this question. Okay, number 9. In how many ways can 6 people sit around a table? In how many ways can 6 people sit around a table? Now, this question is coming from permutation. Now, it is a round table and we have 6 persons to sit on that round table. Now, for any round table arrangement, the number of ways is given as n minus 1 factorial. N minus 1 factorial, where n are the given elements in the question. We have 6, so this becomes 6 minus 1 factorial, which becomes 5 factorial. And what's the answer? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and that gives you 120 ways. 120 ways. Okay, number 10. Let A, given as a matrix, equals 2 minus 4 3 and 5 1 0, and B equals 1 4 minus 2 minus 3 3 minus 1. We are asked to find A plus 2B. Now, addition or subtraction of matrix basically is very simple. We're going to add corresponding terms in each matrix, meaning row to row, column to column. Now, for the first matrix, we're leaving it unchanged because we asked to find A. So we have A already, but we have to alter B because we need 2B. Now, 2B, simply we're multiplying matrix B by a scalar number 2. Therefore, each element in B must increase by a factor of 2. 2 times 1, so I can say, watch, I can say that 2B, sorry, marker is gone. I can say that 2B becomes, I have the 2 here, 2 times 4, 8, 2 times negative 2, negative 4, 2 times negative 3, negative 6, 2 times 3, 6, and 2 times 1, that's negative 1, that's negative 2. So we have the new matrix for the B. 2B becomes 2, 8 minus 4, minus 6, 6, and minus 2. If you're wondering how, I just used 2 to multiply the initial matrix of B. So we have 2, 8 minus 4, and negative 6, 6, and negative 2. Now we can do our addition seamlessly. Remember, row to row. So 2 plus 2 gives us 4, minus 4 plus 8 gives us 4, 3 plus minus 4 gives us negative 1, 5 plus minus 6 gives us negative 1, 1 plus 6 gives us 7, and 0 plus negative 2 gives us negative 2. So this becomes the answer. 4, 4, negative 1, negative 1, 7, negative 2.